the shadow of the Imperium, a storm is brewing, unseen and unheard, yet poised to engulf entire worlds in its wrath. A war that cannot be fought in the traditional sense, a conflict that is far more insidious than any battle fought on the blood-stained fields of Terra. It is the silent war between the Tau and the Imperium, where diplomacy, subterfuge, and technology meet in a clash of ideologies that threatens to rewrite the future of the galaxy. For centuries, these two colossal forces have danced around each other, the Tau with their promise of unity and advancement, the Imperium with its ironclad doctrine of survival and faith in the Emperor's divine will. Yet now, the stakes have never been higher. As the Imperium clings to its crumbling dominance and the Tau forge ahead with their revolutionary ideas, the silent war between them is no longer a mere whisper on the wind. It is a battle for the soul of the galaxy. But can the Imperium, mired in corruption, bureaucracy, and stagnation, survive the dynamic onslaught of the Tau? And will the Tau, with their cold logic and belief in the greater good, be able to withstand the centuries-old might and conviction of the Emperor's followers? Before we dive deeper into the heart of this conflict, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to witness the unfolding of this cosmic struggle. One where ideologies clash and the future of the galaxy teeters on the edge of annihilation. Like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest deep dives into the WH40K universe, where we explore the untold stories and hidden truths of the galaxy's most dramatic conflicts. The galaxy is an unforgiving place, a sprawling expanse of stars and darkness where only the strongest can survive. And within this vast, turbulent sea, two great powers rise above the rest, the Imperium of Man and the Tau Empire. Both, in their own ways, seek to dominate, to conquer, and to reshape the galaxy in their own image. But where the Imperium has stood unyielding for millennia, built on the bones of countless civilizations, the Tau are a new force, young, dynamic, and brimming with the promise of a future that seems beyond the reach of even the most ancient empires. The Tau, once a scattered collection of disparate tribes on the planet To, have united under a single banner, the greater good. It is a philosophy, a belief that the welfare of the collective must outweigh that of the individual. It is an ideology that promises peace, unity, and progress, one that seeks to elevate all the races of the galaxy under its fold. It is an alluring vision, and one that, for many, represents the future. A future where differences are set aside and the galaxy moves forward as one. But it is a vision that the Imperium sees as a dire threat. To the Imperium, the Tau represent everything that is wrong with the galaxy. Their philosophy, their technology, their very existence, all of it threatens the stability and survival of humanity. The Imperium is built on the belief that mankind is the center of the universe, that humanity was chosen by the Emperor to rule the stars. The Tau, with their ideology of unity and progress, challenge this belief. They seek to assimilate, to fold humanity and all other races into their collective, and that, the Imperium believes, cannot be allowed. It is not just the Tau's politics that concern the Imperium. It is their very existence. The Tau are not simply another species among the countless others in the galaxy. They are a new power, a force rising swiftly and seemingly without end. Their rapid expansion, their advances in technology, their ability to form alliances with other races, these things have set the Imperium on edge. The Adeptus Terra, the heart of the Imperium has watched the Tau grow from a mere curiosity to a force that cannot be ignored. And now, the Imperium is faced with a choice: either stand against the Tau or risk being subsumed by them. But the Tau are not without their own challenges. Their rise, though swift, has not been without conflict. The Eldar, an ancient and enigmatic race, have long stood as the galaxy's unwritten arbiters, and they see the Tau not as a new hope, but as an inconvenient obstacle in their own schemes. The Orcs, ever present and unpredictable, are a chaotic force that threatens to undo the fragile alliances the Tau have carefully crafted. The Necrons, ancient and deadly, have also begun to stir from their long slumber, their motives unclear, but their potential for destruction undeniable. The silent war between the Tau and the Imperium is a war of perception, a conflict born not from outright violence, but from the subtle and deadly interplay of politics, fear, and ambition. The Tau, with their belief in the greater good, have no interest in domination for its own sake. They seek to unite the galaxy, to bring peace and progress. But the Imperium, scarred by millennia of warfare and conflict, sees this as nothing more than an existential threat. The Imperium does not believe in peace. It believes in survival, in protecting humanity at all costs, even if that means sacrificing everything. And so, the stage is set. Two ideologies, two visions of the galaxy, locked in an unyielding struggle that will determine the future of the stars themselves. The Tau, with their bright ideals and unrelenting drive, and the Imperium, with its ancient, unyielding faith in the Emperor and its belief in the supremacy of humanity. In the vast darkness of space, there is no room for compromise. Only conflict, only survival. War, in its purest form, is not only fought with weapons and armies. It is a struggle of the mind, a battle of wills. And it is in the realm of diplomacy and subterfuge that the silent war between the Tau and the Imperium truly finds its most dangerous battleground. Beneath the surface of open conflict, there exists a complex web of alliances, covert operations, and whispered deals, none of which are as they seem. Both sides understand that to win the war, they must win the hearts and minds of not just their own people, but the countless worlds that stand on the precipice of conflict. The Tau, with their philosophy of the greater good, approach diplomacy as an art, a means to unite, to persuade, and to uplift. For them, the galaxy is a collection of disparate peoples, each with their own strengths, but all needing to come together for a common cause. The Tau are nothing if not patient, understanding that their greatest weapon lies not in destruction, but in persuasion. They offer the promise of unity, of a better future, a vision that appeals to many, especially those who have known only war and suffering. Through their diplomatic envoys, the Ethereals, they spread this message of peace, often finding common ground with the most unlikely of allies. But the Imperium is no stranger to the arts of diplomacy. It is not just the sword that protects humanity. It is the insidious work of spies, informants, and subtle political maneuvering that keeps the galaxy's enemies at bay. While the Tau might claim to seek peace, the Imperium sees it differently. To them, peace is an illusion, a dangerous tool used by the Tau to advance their own agenda. And so, the Imperium's own diplomats work tirelessly to thwart the Tau's advances, using a blend of threats, promises, and manipulation to ensure that the Tau never gain a foothold in the hearts of humanity. The Inquisition, ever watchful, is the silent hand behind much of this effort, using its influence to turn human worlds against the Tau and expose their so-called greater good as a guise for totalitarian control. As the Tau spread their influence through diplomacy, they do not shy away from more covert tactics when necessary. While the Imperium is tied down by its own bureaucracy, divided by centuries of tradition and politics, the Tau remain unencumbered, swift in their decisions, and precise in their actions. The Tau see opportunity where others see risk, striking secret deals with minor factions or offering aid to those who would otherwise remain forgotten. Their technology, sleek and efficient, becomes the perfect tool for such diplomacy, offering both practical assistance and the allure of progress to those worlds caught in the grip of the galaxy's endless warfare. Yet, for all their finesse in diplomacy, the Tau are not immune to the darker side of this conflict. As they expand their reach, they find themselves increasingly embroiled in the complex politics of the galaxy. The Imperium is not their only rival. The Eldar, ever enigmatic, watch with a mix of disdain and curiosity, their ancient knowledge of the stars guiding their own delicate political maneuvering. The Orcs, ever unpredictable, often find themselves inadvertently caught in the crossfire, their chaotic presence causing havoc wherever they roam. The Necrons, too, have become a silent but deadly threat, their ancient designs lingering just beneath the surface of the galactic struggle. In the corridors of power, both within the Tau Empire and the Imperium, there are those who play the game of diplomacy not just for their factions, but for themselves. Betrayals, secret deals, and hidden agendas abound, each move designed to shift the balance of power in favor of one side or another. It is here, in the shadows of grand strategy, that the true nature of the silent war begins to unfold. The Tau, for all their promises of unity, are not immune to the brutal politics of the galaxy. They too must navigate the treacherous waters of intrigue, where one wrong move could destroy everything they have worked for. And yet, for all their efforts, the Imperium remains steadfast. The Emperor's vision of mankind's destiny is not one that can be easily swayed by diplomacy or false promises. To the Imperium, the Tau's vision is a dangerous distraction from the one true path, humanity's survival. The Imperium's diplomats, ever vigilant, continue to work from the shadows, ensuring that the Tau's influence does not extend beyond the reaches of their limited sphere. They understand that the battle for the galaxy is not just a war of armies, but a war of ideas, a battle for the hearts and minds of the people. And so, the silent war rages on, not just in the depths of space, but in the darkened rooms of politics and diplomacy, where words are weapons, and every decision could tip the balance between victory and defeat. The galaxy's greatest powers do not only stand on the might of their armies or the strength of their will. In the cold void of space, it is technology that often determines the victor. And in the silent war between the Tau and the Imperium, technology is the defining edge, an ever-present force that shifts the balance of power with each new advancement. The Tau, driven by an unrelenting thirst for progress, wield their technology as a weapon of incredible precision. Meanwhile, the Imperium, with its ancient yet enduring technology, clings to the relics of a forgotten age, desperately attempting to maintain its dominance over a galaxy that has left it behind. The Tau's technological superiority is their greatest asset. Their weapons, their vehicles, and their armor are a testament to their relentless pursuit of perfection. Each piece of Tau technology is sleek, efficient, and optimized for battle. Their battle suits, towering and heavily armed, are marvels of engineering, each one capable of withstanding punishment and delivering devastating firepower. Their drones, seemingly simple but deceptively complex, serve as both scouts and soldiers, providing tactical advantages that the Imperium has yet to match. The Tau's understanding of physics, coupled with their ability to rapidly advance their technology, gives them a lethal edge in warfare, and the Imperium has no choice but to confront this. But the Tau's greatest strength is also their greatest weakness. Their technology is built on the premise of adaptability, an unyielding drive to push forward, to innovate and improve. This relentless pursuit of progress is a double-edged sword. Where the Tau have excelled, they have left themselves vulnerable. Their reliance on a highly centralized technological base means that if their core systems are compromised, the entire Tau war machine could come to a grinding halt. The Imperium, in contrast, while technologically stifled by its own dogma and the degradation of its ancient machines, has a massive advantage in the sheer scale of its technological infrastructure. It is a vast, sprawling empire that is not reliant on one core system, but instead possesses a multitude of redundant, often obsolete systems that function in a variety of ways. Despite their technological brilliance, the Tau are not invincible. The Imperium's weapons, though old, are infused with the faith and fury of mankind's belief in the Emperor's divine will. The Adeptus Mechanicus, the tech priests of Mars, possess knowledge that transcends time. Though their technology is often clunky, ancient, and sometimes dysfunctional, it is imbued with the sacred power of the machine god. The weapons of the Imperium, the Lehman Russ tanks, the Titan war machines, the bolters and laser guns, are crude by comparison to the Tau's sleek designs, but they possess something that the Tau cannot replicate: the tenacity and unyielding belief that they represent the final hope for mankind. In the hands of the Imperium's warriors, these ancient weapons are transformed into instruments of unstoppable power, driven not by science alone, but by faith, sacrifice, and the will of the Emperor. As the Tau continue to advance, their technology begins to spread to their allies and even their enemies. The idea of the greater good is not just an ideology, but a force of influence that reshapes the very landscape of galactic warfare. The Tau's powerful weapons and advanced tactics begin to seduce even the most distant races, convincing them that their way is the path to a better future. The Imperium, feeling the pressure, begins to counteract with its own technological developments, seeking to reverse engineer Tau advancements, to reclaim lost knowledge, and to recover technologies that have long been forgotten. The Adeptus Mechanicus, the keepers of humanity's technological secrets, are at the forefront of this struggle. They work tirelessly to reverse engineer Tau technology, to understand the enigmatic energy sources, the sophisticated designs, and the flawless execution that the Tau have mastered. However, the Mechanicus is a fragmented and often dogmatic faction, bound by ancient rites and sacred rituals that impede their ability to innovate in the way the Tau do. They rely on the teachings of long-dead engineers, unable to break free from their dogmatic view of technology as a holy relic, rather than as a means of progress. Despite these challenges, the Imperium's ingenuity shines through. In the midst of their stagnation, they possess a deep well of desperation, a desperation that drives them to rediscover lost technologies, to find new ways of adapting old systems. The Imperium's greatest technological strength lies not in its ability to build new, cutting-edge machines, but in its ability to make do with what it has, to patch together broken systems and make them work in ways that no one thought possible. And this ingenuity, this grim determination, may be enough to hold back the oncoming tide of the Tau's advanced technology. The silent war between the Tau and the Imperium is a war of machines, one that takes place on the battlefield, in the laboratories, and in the minds of the tech priests. It is a struggle for the future of the galaxy, where the advancements of one may either tip the scales in favor of peace and progress, or lead to a devastating, unrelenting war that may spell the end of both empires. At its core, the silent war between the Tau and the Imperium is not just a conflict of weapons or territory. It is a war of ideologies, of competing visions for the future of the galaxy. The Tau, with their creed of the greater good, seek to unite the galaxy's myriad races under one banner, offering peace, progress, and cooperation. In their eyes, the galaxy is a broken place, ravaged by endless warfare and the selfish ambitions of countless species. The Tau offer a different path, a future where the collective welfare of all species is the highest priority. They preach unity, technological enlightenment, and the promise of a better tomorrow for everyone. Their philosophy is compelling, but it is also alien. It is a vision that requires sacrifice and submission to a higher cause, a vision that the Imperium sees as an insidious threat to its way of life. The Imperium, by contrast, believes in humanity's divine right to rule the stars. For them, the Emperor is not just a ruler, he is a god, and humanity's mission is not to unite the galaxy, but to dominate it. The Imperium has stood for millennia on the belief that mankind must remain the supreme force in the universe. It is an empire built on faith, loyalty, and survival. In the Imperium's eyes, humanity is the last bastion against the horrors that lurk beyond the stars, the Chaos Gods, the Xenos, the darkness that seeks to devour everything in its path. The Emperor's vision was clear. Humanity must rise above all others, and it is only through the rigid structure of imperial rule that humanity can survive the challenges of the galaxy. For the Imperium, the Tau's ideology is not just foreign, it is dangerous. The Tau's insistence on unity, on the collective over the individual, represents a fundamental threat to everything the Imperium holds dear. To the Imperium, the Tau's vision of the greater good is nothing more than a thinly veiled form of tyranny, a system where the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the individual, where personal freedom and autonomy are sacrificed for the sake of the collective. The very idea that every species, human or alien, might live under the same banner is anathema to the Imperium's understanding of the universe. Humanity is meant to rule, and if it must fight to protect that rule, then so be it. But even as the Imperium decries the Tau's philosophy, there are those within the Imperium who question whether the Emperor's vision of human supremacy is the right one. The Imperium is a fractured entity, ruled by countless factions and institutions, each with its own agenda and priorities. The Adeptus Astartes, the Astra Militarum, the Adeptus Mechanicus. All of them have their own interpretation of what it means to serve the Emperor, and many of them do so with differing motives. Among them, whispers of rebellion stir. Some see the Tao's rise not as a threat, but as a potential ally, a means to break the chains of stagnation and restore humanity to its former glory. In the darker corners of the Imperium, the idea of an alliance with the Tao is a subject of quiet speculation, though it is never spoken aloud. In the end, the forces of the Imperium are not united in their vision of the galaxy, and the silent war is, in part, a struggle over which ideology will dominate. The Tao's belief in the greater good also stands in stark contrast to the Imperium's view of human nature. The Imperium believes in the inherent corruption of mankind, that humans are weak, frail, and easily corrupted by the forces of chaos. The Tao, by contrast, see themselves as a perfect model of cooperation and advancement. Their belief in the greater good is rooted in the conviction that, with the right leadership and the right philosophy, all races, human or otherwise, can evolve into something better. To the Tao, there is no inherent evil in humanity, only the corruption of the current system. They believe that humanity, under the banner of the greater good, can transcend its flaws and build a future of lasting peace. To the Imperium, this is nothing short of heresy. The Imperium's faith teaches that mankind's salvation lies in the Emperor's divine protection and the strength of the Imperium's will, not in the adoption of some alien philosophy that seeks to undermine the very foundations of imperial society. Yet, despite the Imperium's unyielding stance, the Tao's vision continues to gain ground. Their technological advancements and diplomatic strategies have won them allies among other races who see the Tao as a beacon of hope. The Orcs, for all their chaos and destruction, have been tempted by the Tao's offers of cooperation. The Kroot, the Vespid, and other Xenos races have found their place within the Tao Empire, their cultures absorbed into the ever-expanding fold of the greater good. Even the enigmatic and elusive Eldari, though wary of the Tao's rapid rise, have found themselves entangled in the web of Tao diplomacy. Each new alliance, each new race brought into the fold, is a testament to the power of the Tao's ideological drive. The war of ideologies is not fought with armies alone. It is a battle for the hearts and minds of all those who inhabit the galaxy. As the Tao spread their vision, they do so with the quiet strength of conviction, offering a future where all races can live in peace, under a banner of shared purpose. The Imperium, on the other hand, fights to preserve a vision of human supremacy, a vision that sees humanity as the rightful rulers of the galaxy, no matter the cost. The struggle between these two forces is more than just a clash of civilizations. It is a contest for the soul of the galaxy itself. In the cold vacuum of space, it is unclear which vision will ultimately prevail. Will the Imperium's unyielding faith in its own survival be enough to hold back the tide of the Tao's unity and progress? Or will the Tao's dream of the greater good reshape the future of the stars, leaving the Imperium to cling to its old ways, doomed to fade into irrelevance? As the silent war continues, the answer remains hidden, locked away in the hearts of those who dare to fight for their vision of the galaxy's future. As the galaxy spins ever forward, the silent war between the Tao and the Imperium continues to unfold, its consequences rippling across the stars. The stage has been set, the players in place. The Tao, relentless in their pursuit of the greater good, have risen from the ashes of their humble beginnings to become a formidable power. their influence growing with every passing year. The Imperium, ancient and enduring, holds firm to its belief in humanity's supremacy, unwilling to cede an inch to the alien threat that the Tau represent. Yet, despite their differences, both sides are locked in a struggle that is as much about survival as it is about ideology. In the years to come, the trajectory of this silent war will shape the destiny of the galaxy. The Tau are not content to simply exist in the shadows of the Imperium. They are pushing forward, seeking to expand their reach, to bring more and more races into the fold of the greater good. Their diplomatic efforts are as relentless as their military campaigns, and their technological advances only make them more dangerous with each passing year. The Imperium, despite its vast resources and unyielding faith, is not invulnerable. It is a behemoth, slow to adapt and burdened by its own dogma, its leadership divided, and its resources stretched thin across countless fronts. Yet, even as the Tau rise, there are cracks forming within their own ranks. Their belief in the greater good, though appealing to many, is not without its dissenters. The ethereals, the guiding leaders of the Tau, are not above suspicion. Their strict control over the Tau Empire has led to murmurs of discontent among certain factions. Could the Tau's pursuit of unity and progress come at the cost of individual freedom? The greater good of the collective may demand sacrifices that many are not willing to make. Some Tau, particularly among the Fire Caste, have begun to question the cost of their endless expansion and whether their ideals are truly being upheld. Yet, for now, these doubts remain hushed, drowned out by the overwhelming drive of the ethereals to maintain their vision for the future. For the Imperium, the future is one of uncertainty. The aging forces of the Imperium, from the Adeptus Astartes to the Astra Militarum, are growing weary. The wars they fight are endless, and though they have fought bravely, they are no longer the overwhelming juggernauts they once were. The Tau's rise has shaken the Imperium to its very core, forcing the Emperor's subjects to reckon with the idea that the galaxy may not belong to humanity alone. Can the Imperium continue to fight, or will the weight of its own history, its own stagnation, lead to its eventual fall? One thing is clear: the galaxy will never be the same. The Tau, with their youthful zeal and boundless ambition, may succeed in spreading their ideals across the stars, igniting a revolution that could sweep through the galaxy like wildfire. The Imperium, however, has one advantage that no other force can match: the unyielding faith of its people. The Emperor's light still burns in the hearts of humanity, and though the Imperium may falter, it will never surrender. But there is a darker, more insidious threat on the horizon. As the Tau and the Imperium clash, there are whispers of other forces that may seek to exploit the conflict for their own gain. The Eldar, ever elusive, watch from the shadows, their motivations unclear, but their power undeniable. The Orcs, those wild, unpredictable marauders, remain a constant threat, their chaotic presence an ever-present danger to the fragile peace between the Tau and the Imperium. And then there are the Necrons, ancient, cold, and relentless, whose motives are a mystery even to the most knowledgeable of galactic scholars. As the Tau and the Imperium battle for supremacy, these forces watch, waiting for the moment to strike. The future of the Silent War is a question with no easy answer. Will the Tau succeed in their mission to bring about a new era of unity and enlightenment? Or will the Imperium hold firm against the tide of change, driven by the belief that humanity is destined to rule the stars? And as these two forces continue to clash, will the galaxy find itself drawn into a war so vast, so destructive, that neither side will emerge unscathed? The echoes of this war will reverberate throughout the stars for generations to come, and the fate of the galaxy hangs in the balance. As the last battle looms, one thing is certain: the silent war is far from over. And when the final blow is struck, the galaxy will be forever altered. The question, however, remains: who will be left standing at the end? Will it be the Tau, with their vision of peace and progress, or the Imperium, whose iron will and faith in the Emperor have kept them standing for millennia? Only time will tell. The silent war rages on, and its outcome will determine the future of all.